You mentioned SaaS metrics. Paul, I'm going to pass it over to you, being a strategic finance person. When is the right time to hire an FP&A person, and how would you define product market fit?
Yeah. So when it comes to hiring an FP&A person, right, from day one, you need someone to do your bookkeeping, your accounting. And then at some point, you're probably going to hire some fractionals, right? I know that's something you provide, Joyce. You know a lot about that. Often that's going to be when you need to raise funding. You're trying to figure out grow. You're not ready to spend the cost on a full-time person. You'll bring in some kind of fractional advisory services. I think usually the first FP&A hire, and generally they're an all-purpose. They're not just doing FP&A. They may be helping a little bit with accounting and other things, just like with any startup. We all know titles don't mean as much when you're in the early days as you get into a big company. But I think often it's around that Series B, 10 million, as you're starting to scale. And if you're not careful, what happens is you grow without paying attention to cost. That's when it really becomes I think important to have that FP&A person that instills that discipline of the budgeting and the forecasting, making sure you have processes to review investments and say, yeah, this is a good use of our money. Because somebody may have good intentions and a good idea, but they may not just have that skill set to really run that full analysis and say, yeah, that doesn't really make sense from a cost perspective. We're not going to get a return on this investment. So that's typically where you see the first kind of full-time FP&A hire is around 10 million. And then you asked something on product market fit. What was that question again?
Yeah, I mean, Tony described having a RevOps person as business going from product market fit to go to market fit. So what does product market fit actually mean from a finance point of view?
So, I mean, I think from a finance point of view, the product market fit is when you're ready to really start growing the team. You're confident enough in the product that there's a need for it in the market. Often, I think product market fit for some companies may be achieved before you really have the FP&A person. I think that FP&A person often comes in around the time you have that product market fit, because that's when you start to take a bunch of money and you're really going to scale. And at that point, you really need someone. If you can afford them earlier, they're great to have. Because I think what Tony talked about, he talked about RevOps tech debt. And the later you wait to hire them, the more you're going to have of it, where you're going to have to figure out the systems and the processes. Same thing is true as FP&A with accounting and different things, because an accountant is a bookkeeper. They're not actually looking at your P&L from an investor standpoint, from a department, and the ways that you're going to think about it as you scale. So the longer you wait, the more technical debt you're going to have, and the more that first year of the job is going to be cleaning and fixing things so you can have the strategic conversations. And that's true of pretty much almost any operations type role, which FP&A is in a lot of ways. It's coming from a financial, but I think it's true with RevOps and other groups as well.